So 3 months now, so I'm about to leave a new community, I think. I'm about to leave this Castlegar community where I gave it my all. You know what's insulting is I asked, because nobody answered me the email where I said, can I extend the pool pass where I paid full price again for the second time by a week because I didn't go for COVID, because I had COVID. And nobody answered, but it was extended when I found out what is my expiration. But I mean, it was extended at a time the pool not even open the last few days of that. But and then they, by chance, when I ask a few more probing questions by email, they say I was approved for the 50% off the pass after I'm leaving. After I said I'm pretty much finished with this community, so I don't know if they think it's funny. And I didn't do anything different. They wouldn't approve me before, and I said, "Well, can we meet? I'll show you the paperwork I have, even though it doesn't look like the way you regularly do things." So they did this without my information or cooperation to approve me later on at a time that I'm leaving, and there's no explanation for it. There's no apologies. There's no reimbursing. There's just no human behaviors. So yeah, you're right, folks. The common denominator is me. But let me apply this scenario where with my skill sets, 3 months is I should have already been in a role. And if this was a healthy community, I should have found lodging. So again, where I go to get free food as a poor person, there was a new staff, Asian, and I'm asking her if she's new or local, and she says new, and I say how long, and it's 2.5 years. So yes, the common denominator is me. That's telling you that you're screwed up as a community if you don't know how to make people welcome that want to contribute to the health. You might think economically that's not my specialty, but the health of your communities and the role modeling of particular types of people skills that are more collaborative and capable of win-win scenarios. So yeah, I don't know if you guys believe what you see in the news. Maybe, like you say, Martin says a lot of things that they're outrageous. Except that the news patterns, I think you're noticing them when it comes to climate change and political unrest. And when I talk about your species, and you don't want to believe what I say, then do you also not believe in any of the news that talks about war? And I'm at the gas station, and the lady behind me has her truck running the longest time waiting for me to move. So BC is idle free. Well, if you were a human community who believed in the Anthropocene that you were causing, you would have already started giving tickets for people that, for certain, the evaluation is they could have turned off their engine for all that time, and they didn't. And they still have kids. That should be a double ticket. If they don't believe that they shouldn't have had their engine running, and they have kids. So that's what a human community would do. So I'm telling you that maybe you don't believe any of the news. Is that right? Or you just kind of don't want to hear the grand unification theory in the social sciences that I'm talking about because it means there's something wrong with you? Well, it's not like there's something right with you. So I don't know what to tell you, but when I enter a community that makes me jump through hoops and that makes me the villain by expecting people to do what they get paid to do. When a place has so much money because of water agreements with the United States coming through, and that, where there's drug addiction and there's a bed for drug addicts, and the beds are so uncomfortable, and they don't do anything to cure addiction, and the beds are so uncomfortable, they're in pain, they take more drugs, and there's no programs they go through. I don't know if anybody has a worker for anything in either whatever category of workers you might consider exists in British Columbia now. So again, the common denominator is me pointing out the facts, people, and that you're not just harming me, you're harming yourselves. Like the ladies, a few people actually told me 2.5 years in this community, and they still think they're newcomers. So yeah, so that's an example of what's wrong with the norm. The norm is very, very screwed up. So if you can't care for other creatures, I mean, sometimes you care more for your dogs than your own family members that are people primates that might not act like good domesticates, and then you'll be harder on them than you are on your dog, because on your dog you only expect them to act like a dog. But maybe your kids or your brothers and sisters or parents, you expect them to act a certain way based on what you think makes a good human, but it's not human, right? You know, a good domesticate is not a human. But you believe that's just the way to go as the world is crumbling around us. And we'll do the same as usual, and we will say that's a shame. And yeah, I believe this is coming and it's going to get worse. And yet my lifestyle and my way to interact with newcomers isn't going to change. And that, yeah, the common denominator again is interacting with me is I can tell there's something really wrong with the norm. So guys, I don't know if you believe in raising sea levels. I don't think you do. Like I don't think you understand how quickly it's coming and how many people will lose their homes. How much mass migrations, not just between countries, but within countries will happen. Within countries, within provinces, even within states, that have an ocean side and a mountain side, is you are unwilling and incapable of accommodating other people. And you wouldn't know how to do it successfully even if you were willing to accommodate other people.